You're completely unaware of anything until you wake up and you're confused as hell. What is it like to black out? Drugs, alcohol, medical issues, etc. Hey Yuo, my favorite viewer is back for another one of my videos. So happy you could join me. If we haven't met yet, I'm Andrew, your storyteller. Grab your popcorn and get ready. Before we start, can you hit the like button for the algorithm? If you do, I'll send you some Kali Kush. Enough weed, let's start the stories. I don't remember. A blackout is when your conscience goes into a witness protection program. Robin Williams. Sometimes you spend $6,000 at a strip club and can't remember it the next take until you look at your credit card bill. Now my first time ever getting super drunk, I remember going around telling people I could teleport. To me, I was like, hey guys, watch this, and I closed my eyes and would end up at the other side of the house. I couldn't understand why they were asking if I was okay and wasn't impressed with my newfound abilities. Blackout drunk is the only one I've experienced. One moment you are enjoying yourself. The next you are waking up with little memory of what occurred over the last few hours. You have to talk to others to stitch together what you do remember and try to work out what you did. Crappy and scary. You wake up not knowing how you got there. You try to remember the last thing you can and piece together what happened. You usually acted like a complete ducking asshole between then and waking up. As far as I can tell, when you're blackout drunk, you're still sort of functioning. It's just your brain is so damaged at that point that your memory stops recording. So when you try to recollect the event, there's nothing there because your brain was unable to form a memory. I don't know how true that is, but it's an explanation I've heard before. It's consistent with my experience. I have been blackout drunk before, but a video of me that I cannot recollect shows me functioning as though I'm just very, very drunk. To be honest, it was kind of disturbing to see. I blacked out during in-home hemodialysis a few times and a few times at the in-center. It's scary as duck, and a few times I thought I was dying. Basically, my vision would start to get black from the sides inward, and you can't stand up, and your brain starts to go blank, and your knees buckle under your weight if you're still standing. It freaked my wife out, and I woke up completely disoriented each time and completely drained. I also have been under anesthesia a bunch of times. It's way different. It feels like the time you missed never happened. Your brain's inner clock doesn't log it as if you were asleep. I've only blacked out once while drinking, and everyone was telling me I had a great time, though I could have gotten us seriously hurt with some of the crap I was saying in a sketchy neighborhood late at night. Last thing I remember from that night was playing this card game with everyone, and the person dealing cards was explaining that if we talk during the game, we have to draw a card. More cards equals you lose the game. I just wanted to drink and play Smash, so my bright idea was to just keep talking until the whole deck was in my hand. Can't play if I have all the cards right? After getting the hand, I got a few nasty looks from the girl dealing cards, but I was diving back into my Jameson anyways. Not fun. First off, you don't remember anything, so you can't enjoy it. Second, the other physical symptoms you experience like nausea and vomiting are unpleasant. Definitely not fun. I blacked out due to low blood pressure caused by chemo-induced anemia. I was standing in the bedroom, talking with my wife. She tells me it was as if someone hit my off switch mid-sentence and down I went. 911 was called, but I had somewhat recovered by the time they arrived. 2 units of whole blood later and I felt much better. After that, my next several chemo sessions included 1 or 2 units of blood as well, until my red blood cell count stayed high enough that I no longer needed it. From John Mulaney. For those of you who don't know what that is, blacking out is when you drink so much that your brain goes to sleep, but your body gets all Eye of the Tiger and soldiers on. I'll tell you about blacking out. It was always weird when I'd go out for the night with like some money and then black out and wake up with no money. It was even weirder, though, when I went out for the night with some money, black out, and wake up with more money, because that means that I earned money. That means that I traded goods and/or services. Which is scary. Scary, but sometimes I'd almost be proud of it, you know? Like, wow, I turned $20 into $100. I am a financial wizard. Like, I would like to give people money advice now, but I don't know how that would go, you know? Like they would just be like, John, we're looking to get rich quick, and I'd be like, well, have you tried mixing daiquiris with Ambien? They're like, does that work? I'm like, it didn't not work. I've blacked out exactly once. It's not really necessary. It's exactly like being regular drunk except you don't get to hold on to all the fun memories, and it's a little scary because you don't remember how you got from your last memory to waking up. I've also never met anyone who acts differently in a fun way or has a better time when they transition between regular drunk and blackout drunk. They're either exactly the same and no one knows they've blacked out, or they're sloppy and barely awake, so you need to babysit them. Being sober or drinking moderately is preferable. Waking up to the dread of 40+ notifications on your phone. Good lord. I remember this feeling of dread back in the day. I didn't even want to check my phone or social media. However, I've also woken up to job offers, dates, and great results from my blackouts from drinking in my 20s. I seem to get very confident and ambitious when I black out. Sometimes, it really worked out. But I don't suggest it. You basically stop recording memory. The worst blackout I ever had happened more than likely because of a drug drink. I had this really hot female friend, and she and I used to go out together a lot, and she'd end up giving me most of the drinks that dudes would buy for her because she didn't really drink much at all. It was great, we never spent much money. But one night while being out with her and a few friends, I ended up leaving on my own, in my car, and making it all the way 7 miles home, before apparently not being able to figure out how to use my house key. When I had come to that next morning, woken up by neighbor's dog licking me straight out of a movie scene, it was 11 a.m. and I was on the grass of my front yard. My car key was jammed into my house's deadbolt. So I must have not realized what key I was using before giving up and just passing out, fully clothed. I know that so many of my neighbors must have seen me that morning just sleeping on my grass. But I honestly don't remember a single thing about that night other than getting to the bar. According to my friends, I was only there for an hour before disappearing. And I know I could not have had more than 2 drinks. But one of those drinks was definitely one that my sexy friend gave me that was given to her. It was a wake-up call for us not to ever accept drinks again from anyone we didn't know. I'm lucky I didn't end up killed or worse yet, killing someone else on the road. It's like falling asleep while still awake. Happened 3 days ago. When you are laying down and you don't realize you fell asleep until you wake up. Except when you wake up from a blackout, usually your first thought is, how did I get here? Then what was the last thing I remember? Then you hear from friends that you were hugging lampposts and being funny. You have no memories of this. People often confuse a blackout with passing out. Oh no, when you black out you are still physically awake, but your short-term memory is gone. If you are ever with someone and are worried they have blacked out, ask them a simple question you know that they can answer. Then wait a few minutes and ask them again. Wait a few minutes and ask them again. Then do it again and again. If they keep answering the question, they don't remember you have been asking it, and they are blacked out. If they say, dude, you've already asked me this many times, they are not. For me, who has, regrettably, blacked out drinking, it doesn't really feel like anything. You wake up having no memory of a certain chunk of the night before. It kinda sucks because the only way you can know for certain what happened is to see a video, some pictures, but those are always embarrassing. This, specifically, is why I don't drink large quantities of alcohol anymore. People who don't black out can sometimes act like they don't believe you, too. My boyfriend, a bartender, has never blacked out, and it took him years to see how troubling it was when I did, because I would have zero memory of entire parties, but people wouldn't think I was even that drunk. I've never blacked out, and I've always wondered how common that is. Sometimes I'm glad because I've never had to worry about not knowing what I did. On the other hand, there have been times I really wish I could have blacked out. Same thing with vomiting, TBH. I think I've vomited maybe 3 times in the last 15 years. Once was from taking antibiotics without eating, once was from a concussion, don't remember the other time though. Another thing I kinda wish I could change. I remember more than a few occasions I drank way too much with friends when I was younger. They all had the benefit of throwing up and/or passing out. I just got to spend 4+ hours wanting to die while I gradually got drunker from what was still in my stomach and then slowly sobered up. Thanks for watching. What did you think of the story time? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any more story times.